It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to another Batman video. The Batman got me really excited, and I went out and found some toys, so let's take a look at them, because this might be the best Batmobile toy ever made. Let's find out. So before we take a look at the toys themselves, I did want to note that the Batmobile comes in one of these wonderful open-face packaging that everyone loves, right? Anyways, so the Batmobile is locked down in the package pretty good, but the Batman that it comes with, not so much. So while his cape is tied back there and he's got a couple twist ties, keep an eye out. It should have a Batman there. If it doesn't, well, that's just unfortunate. But I do want to point out on the back, we do have this awesome shot of Batman on the Batmobile. So props to the Spin Master toy photography people, because you're honestly doing better work than Hasbro, Mattel, and Bandai combined. So good job, because that looks awesome and that sells the toy in and of itself. So looking at the figure of the Batman himself, he looks pretty good overall. So he is a 4-inch scale, which is a little smaller than what the average action figures are now, but I think it's good for what is essentially a kid-focused toy line. All of Spin Master's DC stuff is in this smaller scale. And I really like the way he looks overall. I mean, he's got kind of, you know, I think a bigger mouth shape than, or a bigger face shape than the costume itself, but you know, for such a small figure, that's not really an issue. I mean, they did get the bat symbol done correctly here, and overall there's a lot of great sculpted detail, like, you know, his vambraces on the arms there. There is some paint differentiating, so there's the gray and also the black, which is really nice, and like the side holster thing for different tech pieces, and like down to the shin armor as well. So it's really cool. I do really like it. The other nice part is that the cape is not cloth, but kind of a vinyl material, so it's a little stiffer. Now you notice the way it's folded here is because in the package, to kind of keep them in place, it's folded like this and stuffed down in. I wish it was a fold in the middle. It would have looked a little bit better, but you know, what can you do? It is a nice vinyl material, so it still looks nice and stiff when it's on the figure, but you can still have them sit on it. It doesn't change shape too badly, which is pretty good. And heck, they even painted the back of his belt there, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, for a little, like a 4-inch, you know, figure of Batman, which also this one is sold single packed for like $9, which again, not too bad. And that one comes with accessories, and one with the Batmobile doesn't. But anyways, you got a ball jointed neck, turns left and right, does a little up and down, shoulders that move 360. They get a little run into that top of the cape part. You got a no bicep swivel, but an elbow swivel, and then an elbow bend, and then no wrist swivel on him. I thought there was, but there isn't. Hips move out, forward, back, thigh swivel here, a nice little knee bend, and then a knee swivel. So it's not really like a super articulated figure, but you can get him into some nice poses. You can do them kind of like, I guess, punching. It's kind of weird without any accessories, but considering I'm just going to slap this guy into the Batmobile, it's not really a problem. But you can get him into some cool poses. Like they have him in that crouch pose on the box. Let's see if we can do something like that. Those photographers are really good, because I can't sort of get him into it. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, he's articulated, but not like super duper articulated. But it's kind of fun having just a simpler figure. So before we go looking at the Batmobile itself, I did want to show the other figures I got, such as Catwoman. So Catwoman here looks very nice. I think it's got a good resemblance to Zoe Kravitz, all things considered. It very much does look like Selena from the movie, and I do really appreciate that. I like that she's unmasked. Some of the other figures released for this movie have had her with the mask or a half mask, but I do like the unmasked, because I think that kind of fit more of her scenes anyways. But very nice down to the boots, and you know, even with heels, she still stands pretty good. Not terrific, but you can get her to stand, so that's a positive. She's got the same articulation Batman does, so the neck, slightly ball jointed. Shoulders, elbows feel a little tighter on her than Batman. Hips, thigh swivel, knees, knee swivel. So you can get, you know, decent posing out of her. Also size-wise, she is pretty much the same height as Batman. So she's incredibly tall compared to the actor height differences themselves. Robert Pattinson is quite a bit taller than Zoe Kravitz, so this isn't quite the same to scale, but you know, they are in the same size class. Now, what's cool is because she's a single pack figure and not packed in with a vehicle, she does come with accessories. So naturally, she comes with a whip. This whip is, again, fairly movie accurate, just like the costume. It's got kind of a, yeah, it was more of like a chain more so than a leather whip. It was like a chain whip kind of thing in the film. So you got that going on there, which is pretty nice. You also have an option of giving her gloves, but the gloves are like pegged in, so they go over like this. And I don't know how I feel about this, because that just looks really dumb. So we're just going to get rid of those. She also, for some reason, comes with a knife. Not exactly sure why. It's a knife that's almost too big for her hand, but she does have a knife. Hooray. But anyways, yeah, so most of the accessories, I'm like, I keep her with the whip. But there is a kind of neat little thing she includes. We're just going to lay her down over there. She includes this evidence card and then an evidence reader. And it's supposed to be like, oh, you can't see what it is, except, oh, look, it's the Bat Cycle. It's kind of fun. It's a neat little bonus thing. Other Spin Master DC figures have like trading cards and stuff. I'd prefer something like this. It says the Batman on the back. But essentially, yeah, it's like, oh, look, it's the Bat Cycle. But if you look through the evidence thing, see, and it's actually packaged like this. I'm not really sure what the gimmick is, but it's kind of fun and neat, and I like it. And I like her, and she goes well with Batman, and they'll go in the Batmobile together, which is good because they don't stand well. But there's one other figure I picked up. So the other figure in the first series is Penguin. Surprisingly, even though Riddler is essentially the main villain of the film, there is no figure of him. And I'm wondering if they're saving that for a Wave 2. There's also a Jim Gordon in a cop car bundle pack with Batman. And I might pick that up at some point just because I really do want Gordon. But I'm also kind of waiting to see if there's going to be a Wave 2 that maybe has Riddler, Gordon, like another Batman variant. But anyways, here's Penguin. He looks pretty good. I mean, it's not like it's a perfect likeness. Like, his face is all smoothed out. So there's not like all the scarring that he had in the film itself. But I mean, you look at it and it's like, okay, that's, pretty much Colin Farrell's Penguin from this movie. And, that works for me. He's also, pretty detailed, just like with Batman and Catwoman. Everything's well painted. I also drop him easily, apparently. But anyways, looking at him here, same articulation, so ball jointed neck, shoulders that, go around, elbows that bend and swivel, hips that move around, thigh swivel, knees, and ankles. And, he stands better, I think, than the other two because he's a little bit chunkier feet-wise as well. So that's pretty good. And, yeah, if you put him next to Batman, again, now he's taller than Batman, which I don't think is quite accurate. I think he should be a little bit shorter. Robert Pattinson's pretty tall. So there is that. But what's really the winner with this guy, and kind of one of the reasons I picked him up, was his accessory count. So first of all, he gets a sci-fi gun. Which isn't quite, movie accurate, but it is a firearm of some kind, which is nice because the McFarlane Toys DC figures aren't allowed to have any kinds of gun weapons, and they're only allowed to have swords, even if characters are only known for their guns. I don't know. It's weird things, but at least he's got something, so that's pretty cool. Then he, of course, has a case of money because he's a supervillain, right? It's kind of a fun, thing. I don't think he ever carried around a case of money. He had other people do that, but it does open up, and you can pull out the stack of cash. Stack of cash being a, fairly nicely molded brick with a label of some money there, which I'm sure is, distinguished in some way, but it's really nicely detailed, and the fact it comes out of the little briefcase is pretty nice. And then you can have him carry that. So pretty cool overall. But then, as a bonus, you get an umbrella, which I think in the film itself, he only ever had an umbrella in one scene, but it was a scene where everyone else had the umbrella. So it's not exactly his trademark in this film yet. And I think that was kind of interesting they included it here. Because, toy stuff. Now, he does come with one of those little evidence card things, but this one's much better because for some reason, on the Bat Cycle one, you can barely, you can see the Bat Cycle without putting it in the little reader thing. This one, you can't really tell what this is because they covered it in a lot more red. So when you put it into the little evidence thing, you can see it's a map of Gotham City. So that's actually really cool. I think this one works a lot better because you see it's just like you can't tell. But you get it in there and it's like, oh, yeah, no, that's definitely a map of Gotham City. but it's hard to tell until you put it in there. So really well done on this one in particular. That's pretty cool. I like the little bonuses for $9. You really can't go wrong with these. And yeah, outside of some stability issues, pretty good. But let's take a look at that Batmobile. So here is the Batmobile. Now this thing is pretty beastly. It is a souped up supercar and not like a tank, and you don't have any idea how happy that makes me. I'm tired of Batmobile tanks. They don't make any sense. But anyways, this thing is essentially a car that's been beefed up, boosted up, and look at that engine in the back. Holy cow, that looks cool. And I love that they added the flame effects for this toy version. So yeah, I mean, it's really well painted. You got, you know, headlights. You got the overall matte black casing. You even have a rubberized tire. Like there is, you can see some flex to this. It's not just plastic. And yeah, I mean, it just looks fantastic. This is a really good replica of the Batmobile from the movie. And I'm pretty impressed overall. It rolls pretty good too. As you can see, it rolls really smooth, which is just nice. It does have opening doors. So you got one door there. And we can see inside, which there is totally a molded dashboard, like monitor thing, like a police scanner sort of thing. You got a steering wheel, which does turn. It actually spins pretty freely. And you can see like the shifter there, right there, which is pretty nice. Like it's a pretty detailed interior, all things considered. And also the other side, the door does open there too. So that's a nice thing, because a lot of Batmobile toys aren't two-seaters, even if they are in the media they're based on. But this one is totally a two-seater car. So let's get some figures in it. So of course we got to have Batman drive it, because it's the Batmobile. Why would we not have the Batman driving the Batmobile? So anyways, we can line him up here, just get him kind of squared away. It's probably a little scaled down just for the sake of toys, but honestly, it does feel pretty roomy inside the car. Now the tricky part, if I can turn around so you can see what I'm doing, is getting his ears in. Like once you get the ears in, trying to get the cape like situated, he's in there. He's in there pretty good. And you can actually grip the steering wheel, because the steering wheel is sized for his hands, which is good, because again, not a lot of Batmobile toys do that. I always kind of approach, you can look through the window here and line up the other hand onto the steering wheel. There we go. So yeah, there we go there. So there's Batman in there. And then, like I said, I bought Catwoman because this is a two-seater. So let's get her sort of situated. Get her arms bent a little bit here so she can sit. And yeah, so she fits in right there. Fairly good. Let's line her up a little better. It's kind of interesting, if you don't bend their knees, they sit better in the vehicle. But there we go. So now we got Catwoman in there, and they're ready to party. So pretty nice overall. I mean, they fit really good. Like, it doesn't look like it's too cramped. Like, you can actually see them through the windshield there, or through the, you know, the side windows. You can see Selina's trying to escape. But, you know, you got really good detail. So pretty good stuff overall. Now, what's also awesome is that this thing has electronics. So it's currently set to off, but we're going to switch it to on. And on is this number 1. Well, try me is this number 2. We're not even going to bother with try me. So you can see there we've got lights all throughout the grille, as well as inside the front hood, which just looks really cool. And again, is actually pretty accurate to the film. And then the back here, we've got an extra light. So what's really neat about this, and I'll get the lights turned down for it. There we go. Is when you roll it along, it actually makes sounds. And you can see the flame back here lights up. So you get the idea there. We'll wait for it to power down, sort of. So pretty cool. Now, pushing this part of the engine block will activate a variety of other sounds. So we'll press that and see what happens. activated that alarm sound in the store by accident, and I thought I got weird looks from people. I'm not sure what that sci-fi sound is. That's like a bat computer tracking thing. And now we're back to that. So anyways, there's a lot of sound effects in this thing, and it'll keep running. Like if you have it on and you just have the car sitting there, it'll like play more sound effects. It's really cool. It's got a lot of sounds. I really do like it. And I really have no complaints. I think this is honestly one of the best Batmobile toys we've gotten in years, which is pretty nice. It's a two-seater, it's electronic, and it's $30 at Target at least. So honestly, that's not too badly priced. And I'm pretty happy with this thing overall. And it's actually, you know, the entire reason I did this video is because I'm so happy with it. And then on top of that, you can have good old Penguin here try to deal with it. I wish there was another car for Penguin. But yeah, you can just, you know, if you want to like have Batman just be that guy that just runs people over, it's totally an option. Personally, I think this one, he would stop the brakes and then just intimidate Penguin until he ran away. But, you know, that's just how it goes. So pretty cool overall. And yeah, let's take a little quick closer look for a wrap-up. So that does it for this review. Overall, I definitely recommend these. For 30 bucks, getting a Batman, a Batmobile with electronics and rubber tires, you really can't go wrong, especially with one that looks this close to the film version. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed with Spin Master. They're doing a better job than Mattel. I feel like Mattel would have added like a missile launcher and a bunch of other like extra stuff to it that it didn't need. Just making something that looks like the movie and has the cool sound effects is honestly enough. And then to top that off, Penguin and Catwoman make nice companion pieces. And I hope that, again, we'll see a second wave that has Riddler and maybe a single pack Jim Gordon. So overall, I'm pretty happy and I definitely recommend it. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to check out my awesome graphic designer on Twitter, DarkClaw643. He actually got this Batmobile toy before I did and showed it to me over Skype. And then I was like, I need one of those. And then I went out and found it. And here we are. So pretty cool stuff. Also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below and tell me your favorite Batmobile design. Personally, for live action Batmobiles, I think this is my new favorite. Before that, it was the Batman Forever Batmobile. I really like the ones that are like souped up cars and not tanks. I just don't like the tank Batmobiles. But yeah, also be sure to subscribe because there's a ton of videos coming up on this channel and a ton that you may not have seen already. So go take a look. We're approaching the 1000th video on this channel, so there's definitely a lot to watch. And also check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for Batman news and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.